everyone, and welcome back to Mind Over Matter. Today's topic is going to be helpful for those who experience an anxiety, who experience maybe stress, unhappy thoughts, overthinking, maybe someone who is dealing with a lot of problems, maybe someone who doesn't know what direction to take in life, someone who might just got rid of all the wishes and they just think they live this day-to-day life and they don't have anything going on, or maybe for someone who's already got everything that they wanted but they still find themselves lost. This video is for you. And again, I just want to mention that everything I post here is strictly based on my personal experience and my intentions are very pure. All I want to do is really just to help at least one person out there with the tools that I've used in my life to navigate a lot of life problems and situations. And my intentions are super pure. So let's get to it. Okay, so first thing first, I want to touch based upon where does all struggles come from or problems, whatever they are. There is so many of them. There's an alphabet of struggles people deal with. I can mention it again, a couple of them. And anxiety is very common nowadays. Stress, financial problems, health problems, whatever it is. There's a bunch of stuff: anger management issues, depression, sleep disorder. There's just too many, right? So whatever you're dealing with, it comes from only one thing, and it comes from your mental game. Okay, so it's ultimately your thoughts that navigate everything that surrounds you right now. Everything you're dealing with that you think is a problem just comes from your thoughts. Okay, so this video is more for our spiritual people. If you don't believe in laws that govern the universe, not only the ones that the government apply to all humanity, but the ones that you cannot see, law of attraction, vibration, law of acceptance, law of non-resistance, so far so on. Okay, so if you are not a believer in any of this, so this video is not going to be for you. I'm sorry. But I really try to just talk to people who can actually understand where I come from, and maybe one day you will, maybe one day you won't. Everyone has their own journey, but this is more of a spiritual channel. So even though I think it's for you as well, but it's probably not the right time for you to realize that yet. Okay, so let's get back to it. Mental game is the root of all the problems. So everyone knows that where your focus goes, that's where your attention grows, and everything else is flourishes or non-flourishes from there, right? That's the law of attraction. So whatever you put your mind to, you get. Whatever you rip, you sow. Whatever you sow, you rip. Yeah, so where your focus is ultimately where things will start to grow or not grow. Is just going to happen. Okay, whatever you think on and you actually grasp on that thought and you start overthinking and you start to get involved in it and give your attention to, that's exactly what's going to happen in your life. And the connection is super clear. If you're going to be very honest and sincere with yourself, you can see this clear connection between what surrounds you and what's in your head or has been in your head. Exactly where you are is what your mental game is. Okay, so it's the biggest strategy of humanity because humanity thinks that they are their thoughts and they tend to live through their heads and through their thoughts, and it is not true. We also believe we have an identity, but there is going to be another video that I'll post for those people who are actually interested to understand clearly where I'm coming from and not think that I'm crazy. But there is no identity, there is no I. I has been formed from society, from parents, from the world, to identify yourself as I thoughts. But if you really sit there and pay attention to yourself without listening to anyone's opinion about yourself, you'll realize there is no I. I is just a thought. I does not exist, and all the struggles come from the ego that is attached to I, that we identify ourselves with some sort of a person, and that's where all the unhappiness comes from, because we expect and we have this image of ourselves, but everything is changing and we're not that identity, and this is how people struggle, and this is how people become very unhappy. So in my next video, I will touch this topic in more detail to actually show you how that's thoughts are not you. But right now, I'm going to give you a little tip. So, if you really sit there quietly, honestly with yourself, and try to become an observer of everything that's going on and not pay attention to just a thought and grasp in it, like another thing, like cars outside, right? So, thoughts are like cars or like clouds in the sky, right? Sky doesn't mind that the clouds pass by. Cars just pass by. You don't go on a road and touch every car you see and then just hold on to it and then get hit on the ground. That's exactly what happened with thoughts. When we think we are them and we grasp on them and we start thinking of them, and then it appears in real life, and then we actually don't have the direct experience with reality, but rather we live life through our thoughts. So if you sit there and you just become a sky, and I'll show you an actual practice how to do that. But in a description, it's hard to describe, but just in the words description, when you sit there and you become a sky and you just see thoughts pass by, and there's going to be one thought, there's going to be space, and there's going to be another thought. And when there is space, you'll realize you're still here. So thoughts come, space, thoughts, space. Sometimes they go really fast. But if you quiet your mind through a lot of techniques like breathing, like whatever, grounding, feeling your body, again, being present is just a very tiny first step towards what I'm talking about. You'll realize that thoughts come and go, but you're still here. And once you realize who you truly are, you'll know that you're not your identity, and you'll learn how to navigate your focus, or rather be unfocused as a whole big picture, as just big funnel of energy that where everything comes and goes but you stay. You will be untouchable, and you'll have no anxiety, no stress. Problems will get solved on its own. I don't know how it works, but it works as a magic, and it does work. I just hope one person at least tries this and tells me afterwards how it actually is true, because everything I'm saying is not true, because words is just a description. It doesn't give a direct experience. Everything that we talk about and we call things as the things came before the hand, like we call a sun, but the phenomena came before the fact, and then we call it something. So it's really hard to describe in words. But if you try to practice this and see yourself as oneness and as that space, untouchable space, just doing experiments, you will know what I'm talking about. You will be shocked. Thank you.